Good morning, Lifeboat fam. What is going on? Good morning, YouTube. You're on the Lifeboat. This is Captain Calhoun speaking. Got my words mixed up there. And I'm a little bit late because I was chatting with the Admiral. We had lots of stuff to talk about this morning. Good morning. Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome in. Going to finish our self-sabotage episode today, which, I have to say, it probably would have been better to get it all in one because I gave you all the doom and gloom yesterday, and we didn't get to the hope part. We didn't get to the part where, like, all right, well, what do we do about it? And that's what today's about. So you're just going to get a full dose of hope today, which is good. That's a good thing. But, I lament the loss of yesterday's hope, but that's okay. We're here now. Rona Cooley, Galen, Kristen, Melinda, Millie the Dandelion. 45 minutes of corporate pants, so I'll be lurking. Okay. I had to take a second. I was like, is she actually saying pants? Okay, she is saying pants, corporate pants. Got my monkey suit in the closet. Christy Hughes, Incarna Soul, Barbara, Sharona. What's going on, y'all? Welcome in. Cindy G. Seeing some faces I haven't seen in a while. That's wonderful to see all of you. Blessed to Crochet, Robin Miners. Linda Bennett, hello. What's going on, guys? Kevin Hawthorne, of course. Okay. Well, guys, yeah, today's going to be good. 8 days no smoking. Tony, get them. Oh, yeah, you're past the first week. It's basically all in the bag now. It's all mental gymnastics now. All the physical stuff is pretty much over and done with if my memory serves. Dude, that's crazy. You're probably feeling all kinds of stuff you haven't felt in a long time. I remember, so I'm not nicotine free, but I have been, right? I have put down all nicotine before for a period of time, a small period of time, albeit, but I've done like a month or two, right? And I have to say, life feels completely novel again when you actually put nicotine down. And it's so hard to really wrap your brain around when you're not in that position specifically. Because it's such a subtle difference, but literally everything is different. My appetite, how I feel, how I'm thinking, how I'm moving, my energy levels, taste comes back, smell comes back. My smell and my taste are still not 100%. I don't smoke cigarettes, but I think the C plus math changed the way that I smell and taste forever, honestly. But tasting seems different. Yeah, revel in those novel experiences, man. That's so cool. I'm so stoked on that. Eventually it's just going to be normal again, right? It's only going to be novel for so long. Has anyone seen Matrix? I spoke with him yesterday, and I believe he was in some lives yesterday as well. I did not receive any communiques. Let's see. Let's check. Let's double check. Sometimes I'm just bad at responding and stuff, so I have to check. Thank you for asking that. By the by, ooh, I do have a lot of messages actually. Here, I'm going to respond to Resin real quick. He messaged me yesterday. Just going to reach out. Okay, I can type. I can totally type. All right, Mocked, what's going on? Yo. My pal Sal, Scooby Lee, Diane Reese, hello. Well, all right, let's get into it, huh? Leanne? Oh, wow, that was so hot. Christy Hughes says, hey, was Tommy in Vegas? Sleep a lot when quitting nicotine. I hate cigarettes, but it's the ritual I battle with. I hear that. He was in Vegas for that Jester thing. And I believe I was informed this morning that he went on Relatable Reese yesterday to tell all about the trip. I was in the comments today referring people over to Relatable Reese that didn't get the aftermath, right? Which I think was the important part. Absolutely, Linda. That's what we do here. Linda says, thank you for checking on those in need. So appreciated. On that note, let's put up some ones for anyone out there that needs a little extra love today, right? Someone out there is suffering, that's for sure. Someone out there is suffering. All right, let's bust right into it, okay? So yesterday we left off. We had just kind of got done a general overview of self-sabotage, right? What it kind of looks like, characteristics of it, common forms. Just to refresh your memories, some common forms of self-sabotage include procrastination, perfectionism, self-medication, avoidance behaviors, undermining relationships, which you probably won't even realize that you're doing it, right? This is based on like jealousy, mistrust, stuff like that. And imposter syndrome, not feeling like I'm good enough, right? Not feeling like this is real. Now, what causes this, right? What causes us to self sabotage, whether or not it's taking the form of any of these things? What is that? Six different forms: procrastination, perfectionism, self medication, blah, blah, blah. What causes us to display this behavior? What causes us to shoot ourselves in the foot? Well, let's find out. Fear of failure or success is one possible. And I think this is something that we all know very well. Fear of failure, concern about not meeting expectations can lead to avoidance or giving up, right? Well, I tell you what, we don't give up. We quit things, but we don't give up, right? There's a very, very distinct difference here on the lifeboat. Fear of success. Worry about increased responsibilities or expectations after achieving success. Now, I spent a lot of time talking about this particular thing yesterday because it's something that I wrestle with. And it's something that I'm having a modicum of success with now, right? Fear of success, fear of my own power, of my own responsibilities, of my own capabilities, right? And this may cause one, and it has caused me to shoot myself in the foot many a time, many a time. Not this time. I tell you what, not if I can help it. If I maintain this presence of mind and I maintain this bearing, right, this heading, I think we're going to be just fine. I think I'm going to be just fine, right? But I wonder how many of you fear your own success or fear your own failure? Definitely have experienced both. And I'm sure that these are common sentiments, right? Low self esteem is another possible cause of self sabotage. Deep seated feelings of unworthiness can make individuals feel they don't deserve success or happiness, for that matter, leading to behaviors that conform to these beliefs. Now, confirmation, this is something that I'm not a big fan of. Conformity, that's the word, confirmation. Making words up. Confirmation would be with an I and not an O, which makes it a different word. Anyways, linguistics aside, I'm not a big fan of conformity. I don't think I should have to like conform. Like I should be able to be myself, right? And we could do a whole show on conformity and it might get a little bit trippy because I think about this kind of stuff all the time, but I'll just touch on it briefly. Um, I guess let's keep it in this context. Leading to behaviors that, oh, pardon me, it doesn't even say, I didn't write conform, I wrote confirm. So, anyways, to reiterate, deep seated feelings of unworthiness, right? Not really having some self esteem can make individuals feel they don't deserve success, happiness, or, maybe they just start acting in ways that confirm these beliefs, right? That confirm that I don't deserve this, right? We're just going to act accordingly, live as if, except in this context, we're living as if we don't deserve, right? Which is something we want to flip around real quick. We want to flip the script on that as soon as possible. What's going on, Matrix? Good to see you, man. When you're not here, we worry about you. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, the question came up. Has anyone heard from Matrix today? So I reached out. I hope you're doing all right, hanging in there. Like my grandpa says, like a rusty fish hook, but hanging in there all the same. Trauma for sure. Christy Hughes says conformity is why I don't do AA. Yeah, I tell you what, I feel like I'm gonna we're gonna go off on a conformity tangent, even though that wasn't even the word I was trying to say. But somehow, something wanted me to talk about conformity today. So conforming is like fitting in, right? Changing what you're doing, how you're acting, maybe even changing your moral structure, right? Just to fit in, right? Just to be accepted, to be like others. Conforming, right? I don't necessarily think that's a good thing. I mean, I think that society somewhat operates as a whole like the body operates with its white blood cells and like its equilibrium or whatever, right? Something foreign is introduced into the body and it doesn't belong, right? It's obvious, it's immediately recognized as it doesn't belong here. It's non-conforming, right? AKA maybe it's a virus, a sickness, something, some foreign thing that doesn't belong in our body. Well, what does our body do? It attacks it. It literally attacks it. It ousts it. It exiles it as best it can, right? It goes to war with this entity that doesn't belong. I think society is very, very similar in a lot of ways, in a lot of situations. Um, we fear inherently what we do not understand. And for those that are so against conforming that they refuse to, I think that ultimate nonconformity is possibly dangerous because nobody's going to understand. People are going to fear you, and the system might try to lock you up. You know what I mean? They might try and slap. And I wish I had thought about this a little bit beforehand because I think about this all the time, and there's tons of things I could say about it. Right now, I'm my losing my train of thought on it. Fell again last night. I'm so sorry to hear that, Matrix. How does this keep happening, man? And I'm not coming down on you at all. I'm lamenting the loss of safety. My pal Sal Vintage says I am new to the boat. Well, welcome in, welcome aboard. We do a number of things on the boat. My dad, the admiral, likes to do true crime and exciting topics such as that. I personally come on every morning and do recovery based topics. I try to spread some hope, some strength, some courage, some knowledge, and try to lift everybody up as well as lifting myself up, right? As well as, we come on here in the mornings and sometimes we just share what's going on in our lives. If it's good, if it's bad, right? And kind of hang out and do a little bit of a support based like recovery thing here. And then halfway through the day, sometimes I paint and we do like art together, different novel experiences, creative experiences. And I've also started to do a little bit of true crime, but I make sure that I do this every morning because I think this is the essence of the boat. This is the important part. All that true crime is just paying the bills. This is what matters. So I'm glad you're here, pal. Pal Sal, my pal Sal. I like your name. It's fun to say. Millie the Dandelion says, and you're blooming good at it. I love that. I love that. I wish I could hear your voice say those words so that when I remember these words, it's said in your voice instead of mine because I don't say it right, obviously. Dale Cox, what's going on, bro? How you doing, Dale? How are the pups? Are they getting on your nerves yet? You got a full house, bro. Have you given any away yet? I guess that's a good question too. I'm full of questions. I love your pups. You have the beautiful puppies for sure. For those that don't know, Dale is a member of the boat, and his dog just had about I think 12 puppies, and they are all beautiful, super duper beautiful dogs. Doggo Argentina, I believe, is the breed. I remembered this time. I have not had the chance to talk to my pops about it, man. I apologize. It's most likely just sitting at my dad's house. I know I was supposed to give you that information yesterday, and I totally spaced it, dude. That's my fault. Um, we are going to do painting today. It's Monday. I know I said that yesterday, and we didn't. For real today. There's no dentist that I'm forgetting about, so I will either have the package this afternoon or I'll know where it's at this afternoon. How about that? How about that? Linda Bennett says, I'm still on the road to recovery. Triggers sometimes set me back, but I keep on moving forward. Well, it's really good that you're identifying these triggers, right? It's really good that you're recognizing that this is a big deal in your recovery, right? Because everyone's recovery is totally unique. Yeah, we can take those triggers, right? We identify what they are. And eventually, if we work hard enough and stay present, right? And try and just stay in this present moment, we can see them coming, right? From a little bit of a distance away. And then maybe we can divert our course as to not get triggered. Or like maybe we can compensate for the trigger by, preparing ourselves in one of many ways. So it's good that you're at least realizing the triggers. I was expecting these canvases in the last delivery, and they weren't there. I was surprised, blessed. And also, I did get, I got this, and I assumed it was from you, but that just makes an ASS out of me and you because I don't. Maybe you didn't send me this. Because I feel like if you sent me this Blessed to Crochet, then it would have had canvases with it, right? But anyways, how pretty! Look at this. Somebody made this for me, and I love it. I gotta find a way to hang up all this beautiful stuff you guys sent me. That's one of the reasons I need a bookshelf. And to touch on that momentarily, because Kristen and I have been communicating about this, I've decided that I can't trust delivery people to deliver a bookshelf of any nominal size to my second story apartment. First of all, it's a maze out there. The delivery people never make it. They always get lost. And something that heavy, I don't think that they're capable of doing it. So I'm going to have to go and get this thing myself. But darn it, I'm going to do it because then I'll have a wall to display things behind me, right? Even if I just put it behind me in this open space, all of a sudden it looks like I'm in a different room, and then we can display all the things you guys sent. Wallpapering my van with old maps. I've seen like map collages before in that kind of context, and it's so cool. That's gonna be way cool when you're done, Nicola. We'll have to share pics. Oh my. Can't stay on topic today. We're just having too much fun. All right. All right. Low self-esteem is another possible cause of self-sabotage, right? That's the last thing we talked about. Another is past trauma, right? This is probably one of the most common. Negative experiences or unresolved trauma can shape self destructive patterns. Lost my spot. Can shape self destructive patterns as coping mechanisms. Lester Crochet, I will say, I was in my dad's pantry the other day and I found his candy corn stash, and they're quite delicious when they're fresh. I tell you what, they're quite delicious when I assume it was the bag that you sent. They're pretty friggin' good. Not gonna lie. That was in the package from me. It's vintage. Well, heck yeah, Robin. Well, heck yeah. Um, Sometimes when I get stuff, it's not labeled anymore because my dad has gone through it. So that being said, that's one of the reasons I get confused on who they're from sometimes. He's taken all the good stuff for himself. Comfort zones. People may sabotage themselves to stay within their comfort zones, right? I can definitely relate with this. Even if those zones are unhealthy or limiting, right? It's just more comfortable in the comfort zone. That's why they call it the comfort zone, eh? Cognitive dissonance. A mismatch between beliefs and actions may cause discomfort, leading individuals to subconsciously act in ways that align with negative self perceptions. I don't know what I was thinking when I wrote that. I hate it when this happens. I wonder if that's ADHD or crack cocaine. I wonder which of the two is causing this to happen to my brain. I'm just trying to refresh my memory here. Hold on. Interesting. That's why it's hard for me to understand. Okay. So cognitive dissonance refers to when your actions and your beliefs are not aligned, right? So for example, maybe I don't believe in conformity, but I'm conforming, right? So then I kind of feel like an imposter. I kind of feel like two different people at the same time. I don't feel right. It's a weird feeling. It's called cognitive dissonance when we got two different things happening. And honestly, that sounds a lot like me because I always feel like I'm being pulled in two directions. And I wonder, I should probably do a whole episode on this to learn. But anyways, so having cognitive dissonance, my actions and my beliefs, right, my head and my body, not necessarily aligning the same, can cause us to self sabotage. leading us to subconsciously act in ways that align with negative self perceptions. Is that resonating? Do you guys get it? Love it says, do you think we lean into our triggers to punish ourselves, feeling we haven't paid enough, though we truly have paid in spades? This is definitely a possibility. This is definitely real for a lot of people. Um, and, if we're leaning into something subconsciously, the first thing to do is become conscious of it. Step two is to change the action, right? And there might be some baby steps in between, but the first thing to do is recognize it, right? Am I punishing myself? I don't need to be doing that, right? All right, well, let's cognitively make different decisions, right? But I definitely think that a lot of people do this, and a lot of people are doing it absolutely without realizing it. Loneliness, says Christy Hughes, and I agree, can definitely be a cause of self-sabotage. What's going on, Arabian Bard? Good to see you. Mocked says, as far as cognitive dissonance goes, there's what you want and what your brain was hardwired to want. Absolutely. I think that puts it in terms that are easier to understand. Reading, reading. Well, then I imagine the candy corn that I was eating wasn't your candy corn. Because otherwise there would have been canvases. And part of my head, I was thinking about this, and I was like, I wonder if my dad could possibly have like confused canvases for trash. That's literally inconceivable, I feel like. Like he couldn't possibly be that thick. So I feel like we just haven't received it yet. We'll find out. I'll ask him. My dad's a smart guy. He knows what a canvas is, right? One would hope. Christy Hughes says, I thought alone and lonely were mutually exclusive. Nope. Huge trigger for me. For those that don't know, mutually exclusive means they exist by themselves. So what Christy is saying is that being alone and being lonely are separate things that can exist together, right? They're not mutually exclusive. If something's mutually exclusive, it only exists by itself, right? Like, for example, I'm either being creative, pardon me, I'm either being logical or I'm being emotional, right? I cannot be both at the same time. It's just how the brain works, right? They are mutually exclusive. They're both exclusive. They're both by themselves. But yes, no, that is a very interesting thing to say. That's a very interesting point to make, I think, Christy, because you're right. They're not mutually exclusive, and they definitely feel quite similar, right? You can be alone and not be lonely, right? You can be alone and be filled with love. But often being alone for extended periods of time leads to loneliness, right? I think loneliness is in the heart and alone is in my physical space, right? That's my opinion. No science to back this up. Inconceivable. Is that even a real word? I feel like it's not. It is a word, okay. Not capable of being imagined or grasped mentally. Okay, I'll check it out, Blessed. I will check it out. Mary Jones, Mary Jones, Mary Jones. Cultural or social conditioning, external pressures and societal norms may foster self-doubt or unrealistic expectations, encouraging self-sabotaging behaviors. I often think about the system that we're placed in, right? No matter what country we live in, there is a system at work here, right? Like the industry fuels our products and I don't know, there's just a system in place, right? Things are working. It's a huge, vast system. There's government, there's factories, there's customer service. You know what I mean? There's just this huge thing working. It's just a huge a bunch of moving parts that are making society work, right? We're just kind of thrust into that when we're born. And, this kind of ties into conformity as well, right? But cultural and social conditioning, right? What are the expectations placed on me by society? Well, I need to produce. I'm expected to have children, raise them, right? Have a little family and put them to work and teach them how to be a part of the system, right? And generally, this is what I feel that my social and cultural expectations are, right? Marriage, production, work, death. And I don't think that, I think it's very easy to understand why these sort of external pressures might cause us to self sabotage because none of this is serving my heart, right? I mean, I guess having a family and raising them is, right? Which is not something that I'm doing right now. But that being said, it's no wonder um, that these pressures encourage self sabotage or may cause self sabotage because it's not aligning with my morals, right? This is literally causing cognitive dissonance because my actions are fitting the societal expectation narrative and the insides of me are mine, right? My thoughts and my feelings, my moral structure are mine and they don't align with this slave crap. Anyways, it's no wonder that unaliving is becoming a more popular thing. Not that it ever was unpopular. And I guess that's the wrong word. That was just the word that I had, right? But the numbers are increasing, basically, is what I'm saying. I think it's no wonder. I think it's no wonder. We are not made for this cash cow crap. We're not made for this, squeeze me until I've got no juice left thing. We're not wired that way. Be a rebel, be yourself. Absolutely. And I'd like to bring up, I was just a quick tangent. We're talking a lot about the Diddyverse and all this crazy Hollywood corruption versus light and love kind of thing. It is not just in Hollywood. I was watching some clips from the 2024 Game Awards this morning while I was doing my morning stuff. And there are companies that are good, for the people, for the consumer. Like they like games because they like games, not because they make them money, right? Kind of companies that are speaking out against companies that are doing all the microtransactions and just kind of I was about to say a bad word, just taking us from behind. Most gaming companies, the norm now is to just kidnap our wallets. You know what I mean? Just everything is about money. It's not about the quality of the game anymore. And I was very, very inspired to hear Larry in Studios, the CEO, talking about literally calling these other companies out. Like, we're not about that, right? We're about we built these games because we want to play them because no one had done it before, not because we're following a trend or it's going to make us a bunch of microtransaction money. So I thought that was really cool. It's not just happening in the NBA. It's not just happening in Hollywood. It's happening in a little foreshadowing there, NBA. It's also happening all over the place in the gaming industry of all friggin' places. So I think that's really friggin' cool. I'm really stoked about that. Shout out to Larry and Studios, the real ones. I think over the next 10 years, we're either going to see the death of Electronic Arts, Blizzard Entertainment. What are some other companies that suck? Epic. Literally every single one. Most AAA game companies. I think in the next 10 years, we're going to see them go away or radically change the way they do business. But honestly, they've already fired all their senior developers, and they've already treated these people that have gone to school, that have spent many years crafting, honing their craft, right? Which is literally super duper complicated. Making video games is not easy, right? They've taken these people that have all this experience and literally treated them like a customer service employee, like someone that doesn't necessarily have a skill set. And if you're a customer service employee, I'm not trying to rag on you. That's not my intention at all. I'm just trying to illustrate how these AAA companies treat their employees, right? They're very valuable, knowledgeable, skilled employees, right? They've already fired all those folks. So I don't think they're going to change their tune. I think that if they were to try and hire these people back, they would say no. You know what I mean? I think these companies are done, which I'm pretty happy about. Diddy can be done, and so can EA Games and Blizzard for all I care. Blizzard broke my heart. Anyways, let's talk about recovery. How to overcome self sabotage. It's the part you've all been waiting for, right? Increase your self awareness. This is going to tie in a lot to things that we talk about, right? I think that the solutions to a lot of these recovery based struggles we talk about, by the way, Swiss Vapor, what's going on? What was I saying? Mm, A lot of the solutions that we have for these recovery based topics are very similar, right? Excuse me. We want to increase our self awareness. We want to be able to switch our path, flip the script, change our perspective in the moment when we see these things coming, right? First step is to identify the problem, and then we need to notice them coming with enough time and distance, space to make a change, right? So we're going to increase self awareness, reflect on recurring patterns and behavior, thought and emotions. The journal is a great tool for this. Elon could probably buy anything that he wants, I feel like. I don't know if him owning YouTube would, what's the point, right? I guess from his perspective, he gets to make a change that he wants to see, right? But from my perspective, everything's just fine. I don't think it needs anything different. Everything's working out. Um, I want to talk about something else for a second, and then I'll end with the hope. We're going to scroll off on a topic that I don't like to do in the mornings because it's bleak, but we're going to talk about it. It's on my mind. I was We're going to do we're not going to do politics, but we're going to talk about political subjects, I guess. No me versus you, no us versus them, none of that. But objectively, President Biden pardoned like 1,500 people, a bunch of which were people that had been released from prison early to be placed on house arrest because of the pandemic, right? That's the context that this is in. But two people in particular that were just pardoned outright that had multiple years left to serve on their sentences. One, a judge from Pennsylvania that was convicted of it's known as the Cash for Kids judge. He was taking kickbacks from a private detention center. Kickbacks meaning these private juvenile detention centers, private kid prisons, were sending him money to send them kids, regardless of whether or not they deserved to be there. So this guy, I was reading about this. It was said that this guy's conviction caused 4,000 juvenile cases to be tossed out. Imagine 4,000 kids being sent to jail that don't belong there. 4,000 kids that didn't need to be in jail are now literal cash cows. They're in jail for money for this one guy, right? And also, a private prison makes money based upon their population. So, wild corruption, sick to my stomach. This is the guy that gets pardoned, right? Wild to me. I don't know why he would do that. Doesn't make any sense. I just want to gripe and moan about that. Like, out of all the people you can pardon, that is not the person that's like throwing our kids to the wolves. Holy crap. That dude's walking around free in the city that he lives in right now. Also, the other individual of note, because again, there's 1,500, right? I didn't really go through all of it, but the pardoning right before you leave office is a pretty regular thing. I'm just now starting to pay attention, so I don't really have any references to past pardonings. But the other lady that got pardoned of note that I have on my mind was a lady that worked for a city in Illinois. I forget the name of the city. I forget her exact position, but she was a city lady, and basically she was a fraudster. She was stealing money from the people of the city. Lots and lots and lots of money. Again, I don't have thick details, and I don't want to talk about this for the rest of the episode because it's lame. But I just wanted to talk about that for a sec. Just these two absolutely ridiculous people being put back on the streets. This lady now is walking around shoulder to shoulder with people that she stole from like nothing happened. I just think it's a little whack. Really made me mad. Anyways, that's enough of that. Let's get some hope, huh? Some hope, strength, and courage. Swiss Vapor says, can we please go back in time when this channel was a sobriety channel? I feel we talked some of topic, just my thoughts. No offense. No, you're all good, man. I do squirrel around a little bit, but I do also. You're not here every morning, but I do a recovery-based topic every single morning. Um, you're welcome. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but that does hurt my feelings a little bit. I share your sentiment, but the recovery stuff ain't paying the bills. We gotta mix it up. I appreciate you being here, Swiss Vape. I appreciate every single one of you being here. I know that this is less popular, but this is what we need. This is the important stuff for sure. So we're increasing self-awareness. Reflect on recurring patterns in behavior, thought, and emotions. No, you're good, man. I kind of feel like a jerk for saying that. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. Uh, I feel like a total dickhead, actually. Um, I've been reading a lot of comments like this lately, though, and it's hurting my feelings a little bit. And you're good. I love you, man. You're great. I don't know of a better solution. I want the best for us. I want the best. No, you're good, man. I get the time difference and stuff, but I was saying that just because maybe you don't know, right? Maybe you don't know that we're here every morning doing this, but it's unfortunate that the time difference lands more conveniently on true crime on this channel for some folks. I'm not a big fan of that, but I don't know what else to do, right? I can do recovery twice a day instead of doing novel experiences halfway through the day, right? That's an idea. I definitely recognize the importance of this though, and I'm trying to do what I can. Well, this channel ain't going nowhere, Swiss, I promise. I promise. We're gonna literally be doing this until the end of time. And when I'm done doing it, my son's going to do it, right? Or someone's going to do it. The boat will live on. Thank you for saying that. Actually, this is something we probably need to talk about. I'm glad you're not 6 feet under, boy. Boy, let me tell you, I'm glad you're not. I'm glad you're here with us. Thank you for saying this, Shauna B. I feel nothing but loved and appreciated here. You guys make me feel some kind of special, like some special. I want you guys to know that. And Tommy wants to be doing this. He would much rather be doing this. I promise you, just for the record. Just for the record. But if my dad's not doing the true crime stuff, the boat can't sail. Honestly, in fact, I'm kind of grateful that the true crime stuff is popular enough to pay money, right? Because I think it would be a very different recovery channel if I had to work like if all three of us. Well, I guess Johnny doesn't count, right? But if the two of us, if me and my dad both had to work regular jobs and to do this, which again, I am working a regular job. I'm just not putting in 40 hours, right? I'm putting in some part-time work to augment. But I have to say, if we both had to work 40 hours a week, this would be a very different channel. You know what I mean? That's definitely not what we want. Faye Crossling, you are so sweet. Thank you. Love you, Swiss. Survived war. I will survive my addiction. Stay sober and stable. Hell yeah. Some days I feel more sober than stable, but we're doing our best. It's a heavy morning, guys. That's a heavy topic here. Thank you, Shauna B. Thank you so much for your unending support. All of you are so wonderful. I'm sorry for my reaction rather than my cognitive response. I apologize for that. Never what you want to see from your captain. So we're increasing self-awareness, right? We're reflecting on patterns in behavior, thought, and emotions. Maybe we're writing them down in our journal, huh? I would hope you're writing it down in your journal because maybe you forget, like me. Identify triggers, situations where self-sabotage is most likely to occur. Where did it happen last time, right? The most recent self-sabotage. What was the last situation? Maybe we dissect that, right? Challenge negative beliefs. Replace critical self-talk with compassionate, realistic affirmations. I'm going to say that again. Replace critical self-talk with compassionate, realistic affirmations. We're basically saying combat the negative with the positive, right? If I'm talking down to myself, maybe I should respond by talking good to myself, right? Look in the mirror and say, "You're awesome. I'm wonderful. I'm going to do my best today. Right? I'm going to kick so much butt today. They're going to write books about me." I don't know. That was a little bit eccentric, right? But we can puff ourselves up if we want to, right? Challenge negative beliefs. Let's replace that negative self-talk. Let's address limiting beliefs by questioning their validity, right? Question their validity. Why do I even think that this is real? Why do I not think that I'm good enough? That can't possibly be true. I'm exactly good enough. I'm perfect. Well, I'm not perfect, right? But I'm perfect for me. I'm exactly how I'm supposed to be. Perfect for this moment in time. Set realistic goals. This might be small goals, right? Maybe we need to break down our large goal into manageable steps. We say this a lot, right? Manageable steps to reduce the overwhelm. And you know what, guys? I'm noticing lots of conversation about this topic now. Um, I notice the people that are here literally every day, and it's almost every single one of you. And honestly, I kind of feel extra bad because the Swiss Vapor is here often. It's not every day, right? But he's definitely here often, right? And I notice, and it really warms me up to know the support that I have, to know the appreciation that I have from you guys. I just want you guys to know. I just want you guys to know that I appreciate you so much. You're good, man. You're absolutely good. Benzo free, morphine free, 3 years. And of course, booze and beer, baby. So happy for my family. I'm back on track. This channel gave me stability, gave me confidence, and gave me a poop load of positive vibes. Boatloads. Boatloads of positive vibes. Imagine that. Is that snow on the ground or is that a road in your picture, by the way? It's just a road. I was thinking that you were posing in shorts in the snow for a second. I got a little nervous. Mr. Dragon, hello, hello. Lester Crochet says, send a letter of support to help get the man who saved Tommy's life out of prison. Share how the lifeboat has changed your life for the better. Send to helpfreaq@gmail.com. Thank you for everyone that has done this and everyone that's going to do this. You're amazing. Wife talk. Nice. My neighbor is looking stellar today. He looked like a straight up galaxy. He just walked by wearing all kinds of purple and print and he looked like a galaxy. I wonder what the print was. He looked like space incarnate. Focus on progress over perfection, right? That's a nice adage from AA, progress, not perfection, eh? Practice self-compassion. Acknowledge mistakes as part of the learning process rather than a proof of inadequacy, right? We're going to celebrate small victories to build our confidence. And as well as seek professional support, right? The lifeboat is not, repeat, the lifeboat is not a replacement for professional help, right? If you need therapy, if you need medicine, if you need a doctor, if you need coaching or mentorship, a professional can provide that. I am none of those things, although I have walked a path, right? I have lived a life. I have experienced some things. And I, will share every bit of the experience and knowledge that I have with y'all. But again, I say again, this is no replacement for professional help. If there is some professional help that will serve you, I highly suggest you go get some. Therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, can help uncover the root cause of self-sabotage and develop healthier coping mechanisms, right? Which is something we talk about a ton. Also, coaching and mentorship can provide guidance and accountability, which, that might be something you can get here, huh? I try to be humble and stay humble, but I guess that is definitely something we're doing. Non-professionally, of course. Build healthy habits, right? Let's create some routines that align with our long-term goals. Well, what are our long-term goals? So hopefully we've set some, but we want to create routines that will serve that, right? My long-term goal is to take this lifeboat to another level, right? I'd like to be completely free to do what my passions are, right? That be completely free to do the things that set me on fire, set my soul on fire, right? And I would also I would like the freedom to see my family in different parts of the country, right? would like to not be so limited in that. So in serving that, I'm doing morning boats every day, right? That's a part of my routine. I have a lot of things in my routine just to make sure I'm ready to do this, right? Whether it's in the morning or later today, right? That involves nutrition, sleeping, exercise, all kinds of stuff, right? Getting sun on my skin, getting some social interaction, but also, I'm thinking about how I can take this thing further, right? What can I do? What can I put into my routine? Well, I decided the other day that I'm going to turn the camera on no matter what the heck I'm doing, right? I'm now starting to accumulate footage and realize how small my memory banks are. I'm going to have to get more terabytes in here, but now I'm starting to add things to my routine that will serve me further in the future, right? When I have this footage, I can chop it up and make videos, and then we have stuff that's not alive, right? A little augment. Maybe we can put a little Calhoun channel together, right? And we can do completely different things and do whatever we want, right? Just kind of thinking about and adding things to my routine that are going to serve this narrative in the future, because this is the life that I want to live, right? Think about this for yourself. What kind of life do you want to live? What are your long-term goals, right? What are some baby steps, some short-term, tiny step goals that will take you there that you could set, right? And what can you add to your routine that'll also facilitate all of this? If you don't have good eating, sleeping, and exercising habits in your routine, I would start there, 100%. And again, exercise for me isn't the same as exercise for you. Exercise can be a lot of different things. As long as you're getting a little bit, that's really what's mattering, right? That's really what matters. Replace self-destructive behaviors with positive ones. Obviously, exercise, journaling, confront your fears, identify fears underlying self-sabotaging behaviors, right? And gradually face them. Now, when I talk about looking your fears in the eyes a lot, I never talk about gradually facing them. My way is to, again, just kick the door down and see what's going on in there. Boom, what's up, guys? That's my way. So, you might not want to just take the mask off all at once. You might want to gradually face your fears. And this is the first time I had thought about that. I'm glad that I did, though. And also, reframe fear as a sign of growth rather than a deterrent, right? Fear teaches us things. It has a purpose. It's not a limiter. It doesn't have to be, at the very least. Drake is playing right now. Skip. Skip. Develop support systems. Surround yourself with positive, supportive individuals who encourage growth. Hey, you're already winning because you're here. Share goals and challenges with trusted friends or mentors for encouragement and accountability. Now, we're going to end with, so all of those together, right? That was 8 different things, 8 different how to overcome self-sabotage. Self-awareness, challenge negative beliefs, set realistic goals, practice self-compassion, seek professional support, build healthy habits, confront your fears gradually, and develop support systems, right? These are not the only, so we're not limited to these methods, right? But these are all wonderful methods to overcome self-sabotage. Now, signs of progress. We're going to end with this. Greater self-awareness of behaviors and triggers, right? If I'm becoming more aware of my triggers and more aware of my behaviors, if I'm learning about my patterns, right? And what to do and what not to do, if I'm learning things, that is progress, right? That's the definition of progress. A decrease in procrastination or avoidance, right? Maybe I'm not putting so much stuff off anymore. Progress, right? Maybe I'm not avoiding as much. I'm doing a little bit of confronting as well now. Progress. Improved self-esteem and confidence in decision making. Now, if you're experiencing this, there's no way you're going to miss it, right? Especially if you have low self-esteem and you have trouble or not a lot of confidence in making decisions. If you experience confidence and self-esteem, it's going to be a wild experience. It's going to feel great, right? It's going to feel novel, like you've never felt it before. Development of healthier habits and coping strategies, right? So if I am now implementing entire coping strategies in the face of adversity, I am making progress, right? Obviously. Willingness to take risks and embrace opportunities. I think that this is always a sign of progress. If I'm willing to go outside of my comfort zone to see what's going on over there, I'm doing a good thing. I'm making progress. Overcoming self-sabotage is a gradual process requiring patience, persistence, and self-compassion. Imagine that. You got to love yourself a little, huh? With consistent effort and support, it's possible to break free from these patterns and build a fulfilling, successful life, which I think is the goal we all have. One of the goals we all have, right? Like to live a fulfilling, successful life. And I think a lot about these existential questions. I'll end with some interesting thoughts. Existential questions like what's the purpose of life? Why am I here? What's my purpose? Blah 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 blah. Well, I tell you what, if I can live a fulfilling life, and success is defined by me, right? My success. I don't get to define your success. You get to define success for yourself. All of us do. I think that if I can live a fulfilling and successful life, I'm doing it right. You know what I mean? I don't think it needs to be much more complicated than that, right? I can decide that my purpose is to save people. I can decide that my purpose is to protect my family and raise kids, right? I can decide that my purpose is to make a ton of money and then use that to change the world, right? Whatever, right? I can decide my purpose is anything, but feeling fulfilled and serving a purpose within my heart, right? Like a successful life, right? What's success to me? Well, whatever I decide it is. I think that those are the only two things that matter. It doesn't really need to be more complicated than that. Do I feel fulfilled, right? And is my definition of success being met, right? Or am I working towards it? What do you think? What do you think about that, huh? Let's get some ones up. I'm seeing ones. I'm seeing a request for ones here. TK, what's going on, Anna? Huge thanks to all and everyone on TLB Family Ones and heart for those in need. I'm including myself. Oh, okay. Well, it's our pleasure. You know it's our pleasure. Miss Dragon says, I don't self-sabotage, but I have a bad habit of self-isolating, you and me both. I have to force myself to go outside and get the sun on my face. And actually, the newest part of my routine. After the boat, I take a cup of coffee and I go stand on the sidewalk in the sun for about 15, 20 minutes. And just kind of hang out. Kind of like King of the Hill without the beer. In fact, I will say I took a non-alcoholic beer out there the first time I did this. And it was kind of fun, I have to say. But getting the sunshine on me, I think, has been uplifting me. Maybe I'm just generally uplifted, but that is the newest addition to my routine. After the boat, I go outside and get sunshine on my skin with a cup of Joe. With a cup of Joe. And that's helped me a little bit because if I don't do that, I literally won't go outside, Miss Dragon. I will stay in here, whether it's in this room, that room, the kitchen, whatever. There's really no reason for me to leave this place, my sanctuary, What actually there is, but it's easy for me to convince myself there's no reason, You know? I'm going to learn the King of the Hill intro song on the guitar. And also, I was listening to some less complicated stuff yesterday. I think I may pick the guitar up and try to learn a new song again, but one that's not so gnarly, right? Maybe I'll just learn something nice and easy that I can sing along to, which is something I've never done. Singing and playing at the same time are difficult. It's a learned skill for sure. It's a great song. Also, the Cat Dog song, little cat dog. I want to learn that song too. Although the words are going to be difficult. Adrian says, my success at the moment is getting through another day, but I'm getting better slowly. I do watch this, but usually a lurker, but thank you for being here for people. Absolutely, absolutely, Adrian. And for all the lurkers out there, you don't have to participate. I'm not going to make you do anything you don't want to do. You know what I mean? It's just, it's good that you're here, right? Obviously you're here for a reason or you wouldn't be here, right? You're autonomous. You get to make your own decisions. So I appreciate every single one of you lurkers just as much as the people that I'm chit-chatting with every day. All right. I want y'all to know that. I want y'all to know that. Just because I don't know who you are and I don't know you're there doesn't mean I don't appreciate you. Well, I guess I do know you're there, right? There's 100% lurkers. There always is, right? Always are. Already are. Fresh air and a slow coffee are grounding. Yes, they are. One of my new favorite things, honestly, Mocked. I could go stand in the sun with coffee More than is healthy for me, I'm sure. Kristen says, I lurked for 2 months before chatting at all. And look at you now. You're like a regular chatter, a little chatterbox. Mock says, I got blasted by high winds yesterday to the point where we went inside for a warm up, but it freed our heads and recharged us. Interesting. A little opposite. I spent some time doing industrial electrical work in Wyoming. And when I say doing industrial electrical work, really, I was digging holes. I was a glorified ditch digger, but I did learn some things. I did do a tiny bit of electrical work, but mostly I was a ditch digger. But while I was there, we were kind of at this facility that was kind of on like a hill, like on a plateau or something, a hill. And dude, the wind would literally never stop whipping. And the wind came at speeds that it would make a whistling sound all day long. And I had never experienced this before, but that whistling being a constant thing drove me insane. I wonder if I could ever um, deal with that sound constantly. Lots of cable pulling, Nicola. Dude, let me tell you about this. So it was a tank farm, which is there's giant silos that house fuel. And then, like, you see semis transporting fuel, right? Big liquid tanker trucks rolling down the highway all the time, right? Well, they will pull up in the tank farm. There's like a little, kind of like a dock, right? They pull in. There's a bunch of little spaces for trucks to come in, kind of like when you leave the airport and you got to pay, right? There's a bunch of little stalls and you got to stop at the booth. Well, you pull up in your semi and you fill up at this this tank station, right? So that's the facility that we're at, highly flammable everywhere, right? So it's quite a big facility. There's wires underground, right? Pipes running throughout the whole thing. Some of them are electrical, some of them are liquid, right? Who knows, right? Who knows what's going on? It's above my pay grade, but we were out there. We had a bobcat, which is, I'm going to pull up some visuals for you guys. Maybe I can actually get insane wire pull using bobcat and skid steer. Wait, skid steer is a bobcat. We'll just type this in and see what it. We were using the skid steer and the crane and guys. So we would have, like, there was a point here, there was a midpoint, and there was a far point. The midpoint had a spotter to communicate between the two. There was a bobcat on one side and like a crane on the other. I'm not entirely sure if I had that set up right, but we were using manpower with machine power to pull these wires, dumping lube into just as much lube as you could possibly think into the pipes, and still struggling to pull these huge, thick wires. Absolutely crazy stuff. I had never seen anything like it. Now I'm all excited, dude. I used to take pride in this stuff. Okay, no visuals. No visuals. All these visuals suck. Way too many moving parts on that system, dude. I tell you what. It's absolutely nuts, man. I tell you what. I tell you what. And dude, these wire spools, the wire itself is like, you know, they can range in size and stuff, but inside the whatever rubber plastic casing, the sheathing, there's multiple wires that are like thick copper wound up, right? So it's like they call that tray cable, I guess. It's got everything you need instead of just like deciding, all right, I need 2-aught, 3-aught, blah, blah, blah. I need all these different wires bundled together. You can get tray cable, which just has everything you need inside of it. Just big, thick boy on these huge spools, bigger than a man. Crazy stuff. Also at that job, exciting stuff, we landed a transformer, which transforms electrical current, right? Either up or down. So let's say there's energy in the power lines. That's a high voltage, high amperage. It's high, right? It's a big number if you're going to measure anything about it. To use that power, we have to transform it down so that it doesn't explode all of our stuff, right? It's moving too fast. It's got too much current, too much energy. So a transformer, giant little metal box, basically. I don't really know what goes on inside these things, but it has enough power in it to straight kill you. But we landed, I don't know how many tons this thing was, but we had a huge crane, and my My foreman's like, Skip, I don't want you anywhere under this thing. He used to call me Skip because I was green as hell. And yeah, we landed a transformer. I had to dig a trench around the whole pad to make a grounding grid. I was out there post pounding these 10-foot copper poles all day long. It's crazy with a sledgehammer just out there hitting these poles over and over and over and over. It was crazy. Don't miss that job, dude. Not even once. Not even a little bit. Although I do miss hanging out with Charlie. That was my foreman. He was fun. It was a good time to hang out with. But it's not like we hung out, right? We were working. But I definitely enjoyed his company, even though he was a dick. I lurked for a very long time, says Cindy G. About a year. Captain did a morning on comfort zones, and here I am. Bet he regrets it now. Lol. No, not even for a second. Not even for a second. You have lived so many lives, Captain. I want to read your book. I'm going to have to write it first. That's very inspiring to hear. Thank you for saying that, Kristen. Yeah, dude, I was an electrician for like 5 or so years. I was learning how to frame houses for like a year. I did roofing for a while. I installed solar systems on roofs, so electrical and roofing, for a lot of time. I did that for a long, long time. I also worked fast food, Office Depot. I've worked all kinds of stuff. Stagehand stuff, right? That's the stuff I'm doing now, which is basically like setting up and tearing down concerts slash events slash theater. There's a lot of theater in town. We do a lot of plays here rather than concerts. But I tell you what, nothing beats using my voice. Nothing beats using my experience and knowledge to like lift people up, spread information. I would never have thought that this would be something that could support me, even part support me, right? I'm not living off of the boat. You know what I'm saying? But it is enriching my life financially, right? A little bit at least. I would never have thought that something like this would bring me money. I never thought that like I would be rewarded, right? That's the concept here, that I would be rewarded for doing anything like this. And I have to say, it's humbling, in the wildest way. It is the one of the most humbling things I've ever experienced. And every single day, it's not like a one-time thing. Like continually humbled. I come on here and I do my thing, and you guys just melt me. You just melt me right up. I tell you what. And I'm not the Wicked Witch of the West. Being at the sea is like a symphony playing to me, actually. The winds, the waves, and all it coming together. I feel like I would, says mocked, by the way. I feel like I would enjoy this a ton. The aspect of the water being involved changes the whole game for me. The whistling of the wind all by itself, just on a bleak hillside with no other sounds, is so whack. And it drives me nuts. And also, maybe it was the headspace I was in. It was a very interesting time in my life. I was sober, but about to not be sober. I was about to relapse. Little did I know. Millie the Dandelion says, "Well, I for one am glad you put the tools down." I tell you what, I wish I still had all my tools. I would have made a ton more progress on my motorcycle already. Um, oh, it's interesting. I would have made a ton more. I need a tap set. My dad said, "Oh, I think I have that," and then he forgot. So I'm gonna have to remind him today. Hopefully, I can thread new threads on the crankcase, and hopefully that's all that needs to happen. But from what I understand, the clutch may need some work too. I've lost so many tools over the years, yo. I could have filled a closet full of tools and then some for sure, and they're basically almost all gone, which is unfortunate. There's nothing like being self-employed, Nicola. I tell you what. Jeremy Fowler just wanted to say hey and love to all those who need. Well, thanks, man. So we're going to be doing painting later. I'm kind of going a little over now, but I don't care. I'm having a good time. We're going to do some painting, 2 p.m. I swear on all that's holy that we're going to do that. Okay. Um, I was gonna. I can't remember what happened yesterday. I was sick or something. Something happened. It's escaping me now. I swear I have a good excuse, but today we're going to go ahead and do it. And so I'm not going to turn the other camera on because it's not set up right now. But over here breaking stuff. So this is our most recent painting. Most likely, we're going to start something completely new. We're going to forget about this. I was going to do another of this and make it like more zoomed out. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. I wish I had theatrically thrown that briefcase aside right then. That would have been really fun. Although I like the painting and I don't want to hurt it. So um, we were so busy yesterday, dude. It was crazy. Something happened for sure. I can't remember what it was at this moment. My brain's still waking up. But we're going to try something completely different. We've been doing like sceneries, right? We'll start with like a background and then put some stuff on top of it. We did like with the frog. I looked at a picture of something and I tried to paint it out kind of in my own way. This time, I'm going to start with the details and move back. Like we're going to do it reverse, right? I'm going to start with lines and contours and then we're going to add, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It'll be easier to walk you through it while I'm doing it, but I'm really excited. I was inspired, a new idea, which really makes painting a whole lot more fun for me. And I definitely want to paint a whole lot more when it's fun. So I'm glad I was inspired. I was getting kind of sick of painting. So this is going to be good. We're going to flex a little. We're going to try real hard. And we're going to take our time because I want to get better. I would like to paint things the way that I see them in my head, right? I don't want my hands to be limiters. I want them to be windows to greatness. Anyways, I am the noise opera. What's going on? Good to see you. Oh, and Jeremy, I decided also I'm going to learn a song that's not so complicated, right? Remember, I spent like an hour learning or 45 minutes learning like 10 seconds of a song. I was listening to some music the other day and I found some songs that are much more manageable that I could even sing along to that I love, that like literally take up space in my head for free all the time. So we're going to go ahead and learn some Demon Hunter later today, I think, as well. I don't think we'll do that on stream, but I will record it at least. All right. That being said, hit that like, subscribe, bell for notifications if you like what we do here. It certainly makes a big difference for us here on the Lifeboat. I appreciate every single one of you out there, lurking or not, member or not, boater or not, whoever you are. If you're here, thank you. I love you. I hope you guys all have the best day. Treat yourself well. You deserve it. Right. Let's start the week off well, huh? You were at the music store, Jeremy? Heck yeah, dude. Send them. I recently discovered there's a guitar center not too far from here. I kind of want to go in there and just turn up the nicest guitar they have, right? Maybe not the nicest guitar they have, but maybe they just have a, what is that? A Schecter, the Sinister Gates signature model with the black and white pinstripes and the passive invader pickups. I am into that. I'll go pick that up any day and just play it. It's a beautiful machine, I have to say. I also went to the dentist on the bus the other day, and I got there way, way, way too early. Closing thought. And there's a store called Bookman's, and I didn't really understand, but this store has everything. They have instruments. It's like a Ross, but it's like a super, super duper Ross, right? Not only do they have undies and like flip flops and just like weird stuff, right? Random things. They have a bunch of instruments. Like they have cases full of whammy pedals and stomp boxes, and it's like Mecca, dude. It's Mecca in there, and it's not just guitars and ukuleles and drums and amplifiers and pedals and effects and acoustic and electric and underwear. It's literally, they have so much more. I didn't even get to, it's a bookstore. Pardon me. It's a bookstore. They have books. That's what I forgot. So I'm going to go back in there and check it out some more. It's literally the coolest store I've ever seen. Yeah, Jeremy, that guitar right there, every time I see it in the store, I pick it up. It's law. It's a rule. You have to pick it up. And then you have to play the intro to Reminiscence. Yeah, you know how it goes. You know how it goes. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. This has been The Lifeboat with Captain Calhoun. I'll see you in about, let me do my math, 3.5 hours. Peace. Love you guys.